Hi, I'm Bara, and I'm recording this video in regards to Muslims Like Us TV program, which I took part in back in July. Since the producers decided to not give me background story or a lot of information about me, and my contributions were cut off a lot in the program. Probably you can count it all as like 5 minutes out of 120 minutes. So I just thought I'll do it myself. I'm Bara Kuja from Syria. I was born and raised in Syria, lived all my life till 2014. And 2014 I came to the UK to do my masters in Exeter University. I did my masters, then I graduated, registered a charity called From Syria with Love, where it works directly with the refugees and places in most need, where there is lack of NGOs and charities. We work in the UK, we do some different activities, including public speaking about the Syrian plight to remove misconceptions. I'm a refugee myself in the UK, so yeah, going back to the show. So I was told, just like any other contributor, you'll be sharing a house with 9 other practicing Muslims. And I was very excited and actually felt a bit strange, because I asked the producers, why would you call it Muslims Like Us? What do you mean by us? Like, what is the other, who is us? Us are like, did you mean by us the British Christians, the British Hindus, the British Sikhs, the British atheists? Why are you trying to separate Muslims in separate category? It's just like kind of confirming and agreeing to the ignorant Islamophobia, as if like we originally are not like them, but now this show is gonna prove that we actually guys are like you. So yeah, I tried to ask them to change it, but obviously you have no control. I mean, I couldn't have control on the scenes that I was in anyway. So yeah, when I went to the house, and before I start, I just want to clarify and point out that there is a huge difference between my words now about people, because people could be nice, amazing, lovely, wonderful, just wonderful. Like for example, Mehreen, she's really amazing person. She was probably loved by a lot of people on the show, and the contributors and the followers watching the show. And there's a difference between practicing Islam and talking about the religion, not from my point of view, but from general perspective, from the main basics in the religion. Like, as Abdul Haq say, the ABC Islam. I'm not trying to I tried to challenge Abdul Haq a lot. Unfortunately, that wasn't shown in the TV program. Coming from Syria, when we talked about the Islamic State, and I was like, mate, you don't really know what Islamic State is. You're misled, misinformed. I came from there, and I have friends who are on the ground working with refugees, and you're totally misinformed. Anyway, that wasn't shown. We had a lot of conversation, Humaira, Nabil, me and Abdul Haq, about kind of Islamic issues. Yeah, so going back to the point, that it saddens me to see that this show was more like about personal stuff for some people, like kind of people using their own agenda to show it in the TV program. For example, person sending emails to God, messages to God. Well, I mean, yeah, in Islam, everyone knows, Muslims, non-Muslims, Christians, they know that there's 5 pillars in Islam. The second one is praying, is not sending messages. Well, you can send messages to God, it's okay, nobody will gonna blame you, but this is not the Islamic way to do it. And you are on the show to represent Islam, you're not on the show to represent the way you see Islam, well, if you can. I think, yeah, there was kind of, yeah, and another one is homosexuality. I mean, definitely everyone should not have any problem with anyone, as long as they're not harming them. It's no one's problem to ask other people to do what they do. But when people come and say, well, in Islam it's okay to be homosexual, it's okay, I don't mind it, I'm not against that, but I just want to know where you're coming from. I want to know the grounds that you're coming, just not because you feel like you want it to be justified, you come and justify it. You just need to bring the evidence. Anything in science, if a scientist came and said something, they need to prove it. You cannot just come and say, well, this is like that because I want to, or because I feel like. I totally like understand and appreciate people's circumstances, and I'm totally up for people's freedom of behaviors and speech, whatever they want to do, as long as they're not harming anyone. But when somebody comes and claims something about a religion, they need to kind of prove it, or I don't know. Islam is just like Christianity, like Hinduism. There's nothing to be ashamed of. So the reason I said there should be a conversation between psychologists, biologists, and Muslim scholar to be able to say that is accurate Islam views, because I'm not a scholar, I don't know. Just like Nabil said, when you're in your doubts, don't be a dick. Simple as that. Yeah. So what was I going to say? Yeah, it was nice experience. It was intensive. When I said about Muslims not integrating in the UK, I meant socially. Muslims are obviously integrated politically, if you look at Sadiq Khan, London's mayor, and are integrated financially. It's so obvious. But I have to be fair, I don't like to say something to please anyone. Socially, they are not. But, however, the reasons behind that is from both sides. It's not the Muslims' fault or mistake that they're not integrated. When somebody's calling you Iraqi Paki and puts pork heads in front of your house, then you'll find it difficult to integrate unless other people put some effort to it. So it's kind of mutual effort should be put by both people. I didn't have the chance to say that. It was very intensive. It was very kind of stressful situation in the house. And Nabil pointed out something very important. He said, well, it's 10 days cut into 2 hours, so you can imagine how much edits could be there. And going back again, I think I was a bit frustrated because I always tried to raise issues about Islam, saying that, for example, halal food should be featured with ethical food, saying, for example, Nestle should be called haram food because they're unethical company. I try to speak a lot about food waste, because it's not Islamic to throw food, especially while people are hungry. I try to speak about I couldn't imagine that some people, without mentioning their names, they went shopping and they brought caged chicken eggs. And I was like, Zora raised this up with me, and she told me, can you imagine? It's like, no, this is wrong, this shouldn't be happening. And we tried, Zora, Nabil, Humaira, me, we tried a lot of people were talking about really kind of personal related issues. A lot of people were following the cameras. I had really quite interesting conversations with some cameramen and women telling me, these kind of, however many people are following us just to be on camera, and we're sick of it. We don't want to film them. We're just pretending that we're filming them, and we're not pressing record. I'm not going to mention their names, but probably you know them. And overall, it was kind of, I'm glad that I wasn't misrepresented, because when I saw the first viewing, I felt like I was significantly misrepresented, and it was edited. And I'll be taking questions if people wanted to ask. You can contact me through my Facebook page or Twitter account, and I'm happy to answer your questions if you have any. And thank you so much. Greetings from Miami.